What's going on, guys? Indy here with Ultimate Tool Reviews. This is part of my new series now. I'm just calling it Unreviewed. And basically what I'm trying to do is do less of a review style video and kind of more of just talking about any of the tools that I get as using them on a job site, using them with real world experience. I want to kind of just ignore a lot of the, specs and, silly stuff, comparing against other tools, and just talk about the tools and how they perform on a day-to-day, job site use, real world, and kind of just go from there. So this is kind of the second video in that series now. I wanted to talk about the Hikoki or Metabo HPT. This is the WH36DC. Now this is the one I bought from Japan. I did a whole video on how to buy tools from Amazon Japan or eBay. And this is going to be the made in China version. They only make a made in China version. It is totally identical to the US version. Only the difference is you can buy them in different colors. Also, they're quite a bit cheaper too. You can only buy them in a kit here in the US. They run around $300 in a kit, but you can pick these up in Japan for about 120 bucks. You kind of do a little bit more of a larger order, you can get them for around $130 shipped. So not a bad deal at all from Amazon Japan. Now I've been using this tool for a couple of weeks now and wanted to do a video talking about, kind of my thoughts now of using this pretty solid on a job site. Using it around the house a ton, pretty much my daily use impact driver for pretty much whatever I need right now. Now there are two things that are a little bit concerning to me with this impact driver that I have never seen before with any other brand of impact driver I've owned. Now I've never had an issue with any impact driver other than the Milwaukee M18 Surge that literally started on fire. Not the battery, the actual up here in the motor started on fire. It was kind of crazy using that, just doing some minor screws with it, but every impact driver I've ever owned has been totally fine. This one is a little unusual, and check this out. I was doing a couple of spade bit holes just because I was trying to push this driver a little bit. Didn't want to pull out a drill. Now check that out. You can see the grease and the oil on the shaft of this. That is kind of concerning. Let me check this out. If I get really close up here into the collet, you can see a lot of the oil and grease now coming out, which is a bit concerning. I was doing some lag bolts when I first got this in to kind of prepare for testing this out in the video, and it was doing a lot of grease. It was actually so bad, it was actually had a couple of drips actually come out of the collet itself. Now it has gotten quite a bit better. You can see even some of the wood chips are starting to stick inside the collet there now, which is unusual because this is IP56. It should be rated against, any dust, any water, so you shouldn't have to worry about grease like this coming out. I'm not sure if this is totally normal when you first get this. Maybe the first, 30, 40, 50 times you use it really heavy, doing larger lag bolts, doing things like spade bits, is this going to have a little bit of grease come out? Now, I own the previous generation, that was the US version of this impact driver, and I never had this issue before. I've also owned a ton of Makitas. Here is my previous, daily XDT19, used in service a lot longer than a Hikoki, and check out the collet on this. It is clean as a whistle, not any bit of grease coming out. The only other impactor that I've had a slight bit of grease come out was my DeWalt DCF. I think it was the 850, that really subcompact. I had some little bit of grease come out of there, but very, very tiny, nowhere near as much as the Hikoki. So that is a little bit of a concern there. I will say one thing I have noticed other than the grease coming out of the collet is also another issue with the collet. So when you put in a bit here, it's kind of a two-step process. You saw I had to pull the collet out. Now the bit is in, but the collet is not locked down. You have to pull the bit out to lock that collet down. I have noticed when you do some more, heavier stuff, you're driving in a lag bolt, the collet will sometimes become unlatched and actually start sticking up like this. I'm not sure if it's right there, kind of like that. So the bit will kind of start coming out a little bit, and when it's hitting a lot of impacts and rotations, that collet can pop up like that and then stay. Now I've never had the bit fall out before. I've had that issue with the Milwaukee Gen 3s where the collet will actually let the bit loose, and I've had that really annoying. I bought one of those out of the box day one, had the bits fall out of the collet like 3 or 4 times. I just returned it. It was really annoying there. But never had a bit fall out of the Hikoki just yet, but I have had that collet come unlocked like that. Now it's not a big deal, you just basically pull the bit back out, you open the collet back up and do the whole thing again. Not a huge deal. So other than that with the Hikoki, that has been totally it. I have yet to even get this thing wet. I haven't, and put it under water or anything. Haven't got to that point just yet where I needed to do it, but I might have to do that with the amount of debris getting caught around the collet there. That is really unusual. Now remember, this is a Japanese impact driver. There is no warranty here in the States for this, so I'm kind of on my own if anything does happen to it. But luckily I can probably get parts from Metabo HPT, as this is the exact same impact driver here in the States, just a different color, so not that big of a deal. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video, kind of an update on what's happening with the Hikoki, my current thoughts, usage of this, what's happening with it. Do I think it'll hold up? I think so. As long as the grease doesn't all come out of this collet, I think I'll be fine. Continue to use this thing for quite a while. So I think it's actually a fantastic deal. I do have a new impact driver coming in here, hopefully tomorrow. So it's going to be a really cool video coming up with this that is going to be a cool comparison. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Take care, stay safe out there, and have a great day.